Epic Games is in some hot water with the FTC over what they call predatory practices within their store. It was ruled that Epic Games has to pay out over $520 million to the FTC for what they call dark patterns of forcing players into making purchases that they weren't fully informed on in their Fortnite store, among a few other things. Let's talk about it. Alright, so as you can see, this is the article that the FTC, or the Federal Trade Commission, put out earlier today. Fortnite video game maker Epic Games to pay more than $500 million over FTC allegations of privacy violations and unwanted charges. So the straight and narrow of this is that Epic Games did three not-so-good things. Number one, they deployed design tricks known as dark patterns to dupe millions of players into making unintentional purchases. They pretty much tricked people into buying things in their store. And that's a big no-no. That's not great business practices. To be honest, I can say personally, I'm kind of not that surprised. Not that I think Epic Games, for the most part, is a super shady company. But they sell a lot of things to a lot of people. And companies with stores that are as big as that, and especially Fortnite, where the store and the skins within it are pretty much as big as the game itself. It's not surprising to me that some bad stuff happened with just overall purchasing. Unfortunately, it kind of makes sense. So the second one, it says, additionally, in a first-of-its-kind provision, Epic will be required to adopt strong privacy default settings for children and teens, ensuring that voice and text communications are turned off by default. Epic had voice chat and text chat turned on as a default setting when people would enter the game. And you could sort of see how that's a problem when the majority of Fortnite's player base is between the ages of 7 and 15. It opens kids, specifically, up to a lot of potentially predatory behaviors when they're playing Fortnite. And that's a big no-no. Not only that, but Epic also didn't disclose this to parents when downloading the game. Apparently, it's not within its, I guess, license, user agreement, whatever. It didn't disclose this to parents, according to the FTC, and that is also a big problem. Here it says, Epic put children and teens at risk through its lax, I love the word lax privacy practices and cost consumers millions in illegal charges through its use of dark patterns. Under the proposed orders announced today, the company will be required to change its default settings, return millions to consumers, and pay a record-breaking penalty for its privacy abuses. Yes, you read that correctly. Return millions to consumers. You could potentially get a payout if you ever bought anything from the Epic store. So I'll get into that later in the video. And not only did Epic commit the first two violations, they also committed a pretty bad privacy violation. The FTC alleged that Epic violated the Kappa Rule, or the COPPA rule, I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced, by collecting personal information from children under 13 who played Fortnite, which, again, like I said earlier, is a large part of Fortnite's player base. And it says here, Fortnite is a child-directed online service without notifying their parents or obtaining their parents' verifiable consent. Epic also violated the FTC Act's prohibition against unfair practices by enabling real-time voice and text chat communications for children and teens by default. So it says specifically the FTC says that Epic violated COPPA by failing to notify parents and obtain consent. They collected personal data from children without first obtaining parents' verifiable consent. The company also required parents who requested that their children's personal information be deleted to jump through unreasonable hoops, and they sometimes failed to honor such requests. I've definitely heard of situations where Fortnite has either not given refunds when kids have, stolen their parents' credit cards, things along those lines. Again, unfortunately, it doesn't surprise me that Epic and, Fortnite as a game haven't honored a lot of these promises that they've made to their community. And then it goes through here, the default settings. So primarily the default settings were the text chat and the voice chat being enabled. Generally, those are things that you have to go in afterwards and turn on. It's just like a nice thing to make sure that you're not putting new younger kids, newer players into potentially toxic environments where any Joe Schmo online could talk to them, coerce them, potentially get them to do some not so great things online over the internet. And yeah, that should definitely be changed. Voice chat and text chat should not be on to start with. Because I can say for myself as well, I know when I started playing video games as a kid, there were certain times where my mic was on and I didn't even know that I had a microphone, specifically like in controllers and stuff. So yeah, that should definitely not be a default setting. So it says Epic employees express concern about its default settings. As early as 2017, Epic employees urged the company to change the default settings to require users to opt in for voice chat, citing concern about the impact on children in particular. Despite this, and reports that children had been harassed, including sexually, which I might remind you is a crime, while playing the game, the company resisted turning off the default settings, and while it eventually added a button allowing users to turn voice chat off, Epic made it difficult for users to find, according to the complaint. In addition to paying the record civil penalty, and yes, this is a record penalty, apparently, I don't often follow the FTC, but apparently this is the most money that anyone has ever paid. So that's something. Alrighty, so heading into the illegal dark patterns that the FTC alleges that Epic Games uses in order to coerce their player base into purchases that they necessarily don't want to make. The company has deployed a variety of dark patterns aimed at getting consumers of all ages to make unintended in-game purchases. Fortnite's counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration led players to incur unwanted charges based on the press of a single button. For example, players could be charged while attempting to wake the game from sleep mode while the game was in a loading screen, or by pressing an adjacent button while attempting simply to preview an item. These tactics led to hundreds of millions of dollars in unauthorized charges for consumers. As someone that has not played Fortnite for a while, I didn't know that this was a thing, but yeah, that's hella shady. You can't tell me that Epic did not know that that was a thing. With how important their store is, any mistake that they could maybe argue like that, there's no way. There is literally no way. There is so many people that buy skins from Fortnite that they had to have gotten complaints about that, and they had to have actively ignored them. So yeah, that seems completely correct to me. That they should be punished for that. They also charged account holders without authorization. I think there's been a meme over the past few years about kids taking their parents' credit card and purchasing Fortnite skins. Well, that is actually unfortunately the case in a lot of situations. Children and other users who play Fortnite can purchase in-game content such as cosmetics and battle passes using Fortnite's V-Bucks. Up until 2018, Epic allowed children to purchase V-Bucks by simply pressing buttons without requiring any parental or cardholder action or consent. Yeah, that's rough. Some parents complained that their children had racked up hundreds of dollars in charges before they realized Epic had charged their credit card without their consent. I definitely heard of this. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I heard of a kid who got really mad at his mom. They were fighting. His mom grounded him, and he took her credit card. And yeah, just made thousands of dollars of purchases, and she was not able to get a refund. At least as of when I had read about the story, she was not able to get a refund. Epic was just control your child better? I don't know what to do. So yeah, that definitely checks out. Like I said, there's also been a lot of memes about it, and I think a lot of the memes have some truth to them. So that's really shitty. That really sucks. Be better, Epic. There was also a few situations where Epic blocked access to purchased content. The FTC alleges that Epic locked the accounts of customers who disputed unauthorized charges with their credit card companies. Consumers whose accounts have been locked lose access to all the content they have purchased, which can at times total thousands of dollars. Even when Epic agreed to unlock an account, consumers were warned that they could be banned for life if they disputed any future charges. I've also heard about that. I've also heard about people disputing too many charges and being threatened that, their account could just be completely locked and they would have to make a completely new account by Epic. And that, I mean, I'm going to continue saying this. That really fucking sucks. Do better, Epic. As part of the proposed administrative order with the FTC over the company's unlawful billing practices, Epic must pay $245 million, which will be used to provide refunds to customers. In addition, the order prohibits Epic from charging customers through the use of dark patterns or from otherwise charging customers without obtaining their affirmative consent. The order also bars Epic from blocking customers from accessing their accounts for disputing unauthorized charges. So I think overall, this is pretty good to help keep Epic in check. Not only should they, be fixing their store, because whether those, dark practices were intentional or not, they should be fixed. Nobody should be charged for unintentionally buying a skin or an item in Fortnite. That just shouldn't happen. I also think it's really good that Epic can no longer threaten to ban people for disputing charges. I understand that a lot of people dispute charges that shouldn't be disputed, but it's just part of the system, Epic. When you sell things through your store, when you make microtransactions, people are going to dispute. That's part of the game. That's part of, making a ton of money through that medium. You got to be willing to deal with that stuff when it comes. As for the refunds, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you get a refund. I don't know how they're going to decide that you get a refund. But Epic Games is refunding $245 million back to players that accidentally purchased things within their game. So if you bought a skin, if you bought a pickaxe, you might be getting some money back from Epic Games. So stay tuned, I guess. Check your Fortnite account. See if you get any money. And it might be a nice Christmas present for you. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think that Epic should have paid this out? Do you think that Epic shouldn't have paid this out? Do you think that they were, predatory in their practices? You think that, Epic's just Epic? They should do what they want? Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one.